these 52 weeks for the last 44 weeks. This is Wealth Principle 44. Systemize your business so it runs without you. Now, I didn't press start on the TikTok or the Instagram, so hands to the camera if you are ready to double your income and double your net worth. Double your income, double your net worth. Hands to camera if you plan on doing that this year in 2023. You're going to do it this year. This is not in the future. This is actively happening. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. You might be in the right room because we have one rule. We double our income. We double our net worth every single year. What I've been asked is, how do you do it? How do you double your income? How do you double your net worth? We use 52 wealth principles. These 52 wealth principles came from the over 400 books that I've studied, the millions of dollars worth of businesses that I've built, the multiple businesses that I've successfully built and successfully failed. Hence, Karen, if you've ever failed at something in your life, something big that was important to you. So I failed at a couple of things, but what I learned from those failures was that systems and principles are the same no matter what industry I'm in, no matter what business I'm in, no matter where I go. And today's wealth principle is one of the coolest wealth principles as far as making more money and getting less time. Hands if you want to make more money, do less work. You want more time back. Oh, yeah. So wealth principle 44 is I'm all about getting your time back. For anybody who's never heard me before, I do talk about money a lot. I do care deeply about your financial success, but I understand that money is not what makes happiness. Who knows that happiness is an inside job. It's just a decision to be happy and you're happy. If you don't know how to do that, go get help. Go seek some medical professional like Tony Robbins. I feel like he's really good at making people happy. Hands can if you know that guy, big teeth, big hands, super tall. I was like, yes, that guy is very good at making people positive. Who here is feeling happy right now? Feeling happy, feeling positive, without outside source, without any extra motivation, without any inspiration? Excellent. This call is not to motivate you. This call is to inspire you with the right steps so you can take action today on something that's going to improve your business. I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. Because the point is not to work, it's to generate income. Hence, if you agree, if you're in the same belief system. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Wealth Principle 44. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to go straight into action steps in just a second. Before I go on action steps, let me share why it's important for you to systemize your business so it works without you. The reason it's important is because if you don't, you will work for your business for the rest of your life. You'll be working like a slave. Now, I remember in 2016, 2015, I got my real estate license. Who here knows realtors, has heard of realtors, knows that they're a bunch of slaves. They're out there just, next house, next house, next house. But they make it look glamorous. You know, they're all dressed nice. They're doing their photos like this. They're taking pictures of houses that they're supposedly selling, but most of them are not selling. They're just taking pictures of other people's houses. Who's seen these fakes, these phonies, pretending to be successful with their rented or leased out Lamborghini? No, not Lambos. They all drive Benzes and Audis, right? They don't go to that next level. So here's what I learned as I was in 2015 being an agent. One, I wasn't making a lot of money. I was making $17,000 a year. My first year, I sucked at being an agent. I was an accountant making $75,000, quit my accounting job, and became a real estate agent, a salesperson, and realized I'm a terrible salesperson. I was great at Excel. I was great at working with vice presidents on their spreadsheets, but I was terrible at converting people into sales. But here's what I was good at: systems. I was very good at systematically learning things. Who here also agrees that they're good at systematically learning processes and procedures? They can follow instructions. Excellent. So I thought that I could be a great entrepreneur because I was like, there's got to be a system to this. There's no way all these realtors are so super successful. And because, you know, there are all these $1 million realtors out there, right? These multi-million-dollar real estate investors. I didn't realize the real estate investors were leveraged up to their hilt. I didn't realize the real estate agents who were like $1 million agents were not making $1 million. These were just clowns who were making like $1 million agent, somebody making $30,000 a year. If you understand, it's 1%, like they're making 1 to 2% of what the whole transaction is. So if they're selling $1 million of houses, like they made like 25,000 a year. That's the truth of it. Like 2.5% is what we used to make, right? If you understand that math, like 3% would be 30,000 on $1 million. So here's what I learned. These guys were all faking it. But then I met somebody who wasn't faking it. My mentor, Jim. He was pulling in over $100,000 a year because he was doing 50 transactions a year. Instead of the average agent does 6, he was doing 20 to 50 transactions a year. And he showed me a different way to do things. He showed me a system that allowed me to scale up. And here's the other great thing about Jim. was he also owned rental property. Hence came from own some rental property. And what he told me is, yeah, I don't have to work because I own rental property. Now I had to work. I needed to make money. Doreena's saying I'm not sharing. I know I'm not sharing. I know that there is a story, and I do have PowerPoints to this. Maybe next time I'll bring the PowerPoints. But for right now, I just want to share this story because it's important for you to understand the importance of systemizing. When I went into this business, I had no systems. I had no systems for marketing. I had no systems. I had no systems for a sales process. I did not know how to raise capital. Who here would like to raise capital this year? Like to raise $1 million? Who would be fine with $500,000, $250,000, be more than you got right now, right? So I didn't have a system. And now in 30 days, I have raised $1 million in 30 days. I now have a system for doing that. But I didn't have it back then. And so I couldn't raise 25,000 if I tried. Who here has never raised 25,000 before? Never raised, more than 25, 50,000, never done 100. Okay. So I didn't have systems. I was scared. Without a system, you can't get things done because the mind just won't take action. So 2018, I hired a coach. 2017, I hired like a dozen coaches. And then 2018, I hired more coaches and I finally started building systems. I went from 17,000 a year to 115,000 a year to 250,000. It was 300,000 a year to $500,000 to $1.5 million in a year. And the reason that worked out was because I put the systems in place early on and I started leveraging outside of myself. I started using things outside of myself. But the moments that I thought I knew what I was doing, the moments where I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing what everybody else is telling me to do, were the moments I was working the hardest. They were the moments I was grinding the most. They were the moments I was not seeing the most results because I was so busy doing the task, but I wasn't documenting the process. I wasn't putting the right things in place. Has anybody ever done this? Not documented the process, just done work. I hope that tomorrow will be better. Maybe tomorrow's better. Maybe tomorrow I'll meet the right client. Maybe tomorrow gets better. It's not a good sustainable system. So this is why we're going to work today on 5 steps. I'll show you 5 steps for you to automate, to systemize your business. Now, I'm not going to go into all the techniques and tools. Like there's software, there's platforms that you can use. But today I'm just going to talk about 5 steps for you to automate your business. I'm going to ask you to do some research to go and find other automations like the people, the partners, and the systems or the automations or the software to automate your business. Hence, can't understand, it's up to you to find your own people. You're going to hire your own staff. I'm not hiring your staff for you. You're going to find your own partners. I'm not connecting with partners. I'll create a lot of people in this network that you could partner with. And you're going to have to go find your own systems, although I make a lot of suggestions on what systems you could use. Hence, Karen, if that's okay, I got full permission to just use whatever I want. Awesome. Number 1, step 1. By the way, you may want to pull out a pen and paper to go through this step with us. There are 5 steps to systemizing your business so it works without you. That is the goal. Step 1, you must make a list of your most reoccurring tasks. I want to highlight again, these are tasks that happen over and over again. These are tasks that you do every single day. These are reoccurring tasks, not the one-off projects. Too many of you get distracted with your one-off projects. You make this whole list and you're like, okay, I got all these things I got to do. But those aren't system. Don't build a system around those because they're just one time. An example of a task that would have to be done every day is responses to properties that come through your email. So if you're an investor looking for motivated sellers, then you need a system for responding to people who are sending you leads. If you don't have leads, then you need a system for getting leads. If that makes sense. These are things that every single day have to be done. Action has to be sent out, and then once it's received, something has to be automated there as well. Step 2, decide on a directory structure. When I say directory structure, I am talking about something like Google Drive or Dropbox. I suggest you don't keep it on your device. You have to get it in the cloud if you ever want to scale your business. One of the first things I learned when I worked at Computer Associates back in like 2012 was that as a tech company, they were one of the first to jump onto the cloud. In fact, they did cloud security. So like everybody was like, it's impossible to protect the cloud. And that was like their mission, was to protect the cloud. And now the cloud is super safe. You can put all your stuff out there and it never gets robbed. Yeah, hopefully. So Google Drive was something that didn't exist for us. What we had was our own servers that we were putting things on, and we were creating like our own kind of Dropbox. Now you have Dropbox, you have Box, you have Google Drive, you have all these different places you could store stuff. Hands if you got a place you could store your documents. The reason you need it in a shared drive is so other people can read it. Now we're going to start documenting processes. Remember, step 1 is you must you must get your list of all your recurring tasks. Step 2 now is choose a place to store all the documents. For me, we use Google Drive or we use Dropbox, depends on the business. And so that's step 2, choose a place. Step 3, document your process. And I'm going to go back again because me and Ron had a big argument, probably do this every year. We go through and we look at how our folders are organized, and our structure for our directory can be extremely messy. There's 11 businesses. Hence, Cameron, if you know, there's 11 businesses. That's a lot of different businesses within different tasks. And we had to look at which company is owned by what LLC. So we structured LLC structure. Then there was the actual assets that LLC owns, or the projects that LLC might work on, or the partners that LLC has. And then beyond that is marketing, sales, business, finance. And then each one of those within it has some sort of component to it. Hence, if you understand what I mean by when I say structure. All right. Excellent. So we'll move back on. Number 3, document your process. We use Word docs, just Word docs, basic Word docs. We'll drop them out there. And now your Word doc should have, like, who here's heard of an SOP before? Standard operating procedure. So an SOP is how you do something. And it should be as simple as pictures taken, like take screenshots. You can record video, drop the link inside your Word doc if your process is a little more complicated. But we'll go and we'll screenshot stuff, we'll type in instructions, and we'll add video to each one of these Word docs, so it becomes a lot easier for us. We actually have Alchemist Nation. What is Dorina saying? I think this is #money for. Dorina, I have no clue what you are saying to me, but if you want to unmute your mic, you can feel free to share. Dorina?
I think it's number 4. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, typing.
Document your process. Oh, no, I'm not there yet. No, we're at number 3. Number 3 is document your process. So we're let's give Dorina a round of applause. I'm glad she asked the question. So if she's confused, somebody else is confused. Number 3 is document your process. We use Google Docs to document things. So as you're going through, so remember Google Drive was number 2. Number 1 was your list of tasks that are reoccurring. Hence, Karen, if everybody's along with me, if I'm going too fast, slow me down. All right. Number 1, create your directory. Number 2, choose where the directory is going to be. No, 1 is reoccurring tasks, write a list of reoccurring tasks. 2 is directory. 3 is document the process. This means go through your process. I do this with Jen Sullivan. She did this with all of her virtual assistants. You document your process, and then as you're going through it, you do the process and just you document as you go through. In fact, Jen, do you mind sharing really quickly how you have been building some of your documentations? Just because I feel like there may be some questions around this. Hence, Karen, if you've never had to document your process before, never like tracked what you do, you just do stuff and you're like, I do things. I'm successful. That's what I do. All right, go ahead, Jen.
So we have Google, Workspace, and the Drive, and I'm not quite sure. Like we have a lot of documents in the Drive. We have we have it very. We tried to be very organized, but there's documents for the clients and the documents for the books. And now I have a person who can go in and take care of all of that. Not very clear, I know. Sorry.
So if you can walk us through the process, when you want somebody to do something, give me an example of one. Like, let's say somebody, what's a process you recently documented?
The process, okay, one of the processes we recently documented was our new client protocol.
New client protocol. And how did you document that process?
I sat down with the woman who's going to take care of it, and we went over step by step what had to happen.
Excellent. And then who documented it?
I documented it, but it's in a Drive now, so she can look at it, and we've made projects in Asana for it, so she can go through step by step and take care of it.
Hensky, if you understand the process now, it makes perfect sense. Awesome. Let's give Jen Sullivan a round of applause. Thank you, Jen. Awesome. Awesome. So you document your process. You got to learn it, do it, and then you can document it. And once you've documented it, you can delegate it. Do not delegate without documentation. If you delegate without documentation, you're going to spend a lot of money, and there's a good chance you'll end up hiring people who you end up either firing or they end up quitting on you because they don't have a clear path on what they're supposed to be doing. Hence, Cameron, if you would like a clear path on your roles, if you were given something to do. Absolutely. Very cool. So that is why we document the process. Number 4, ask a colleague to perform the task. Ask somebody who's not in your field or in your department to then go follow your SOP and see if they can perform the task. When you ask somebody on your team how to do it already, you don't end up with the same result. You want a complete stranger to be able to take this SOP and follow a process without having any company knowledge, without having any kind of department knowledge. Hence, Karen, if you understand why we're doing that, we want this to be easy, like McDonald's. They can just stand at the station, read the sign. They know how to do their job. Once you've asked a colleague to perform your task, you're able to move on to step 5, which is continue to improve over time. So the 3 steps I'll review again are: make a list of your most recurring tasks, decide on a directory structure like Google Drive, document the process. We use Word docs and Google Word to document the process. Number 4, ask a colleague from another department to perform the task. And 5, continue to improve over time. Hence, if you understand, this would do a great job at systemizing your business so it works without you. The secret to this is you can now hire things to virtual assistants. You can hire things to your partners. You can train your sales team consistently. You can bring in other people and eventually maybe even start your own training company. The reason this training company exists is because we were originally recruiting clients. We were originally recruiting our clients and running them through a process and a system for being great clients. Who here has taken any of my coaching programs? Who's taken any of my coaching programs, paid me money? Absolutely. The reason there are coaching programs is because I'm shaping you to be the ideal client. Has that ever crossed your mind before? Has anybody considered that? Just like, it's like, whoa, like he's making me the right client. Remember the mission: 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. This is a recruiting company. We're a business that is constantly recruiting, looking for, inspiring the people who are willing to take the mission on to the next level, people who are willing to go out and build 100 millionaires. The easiest way to build 100 millionaires, who knows what it is? Names on deeds. The easiest way to build 100 millionaires is help other souls own real estate, get their assets put together, build their businesses, acquire real estate, buy assets. So when we thought about what we're doing, we said, how do you do it? Well, we got to build systems. We got to build systems around our people who are going to build millionaires. Well, how are we going to get the people to build millionaires? We got to recruit people to become millionaires. Well, what do people want? Well, they want to become millionaires themselves. Excellent. So let's build a training around teaching people how to become wealthy. That's if you understand, our marketing pays us. We get paid on our marketing. We get paid to train our new partners, and then we get paid to provide our service to the world. Can you systemize your business so not only it works without you, but you get paid for every step of the way? And the answer is yes. You got to follow Wealth Principle 44, and you got to identify what your recurring tasks are, right? You got to document the system, document the process. There's a book of the week every week. I know Mike Shine is away. He's not here with us today because he's traveling. He's seeing Esther Hicks at this moment. He's either with Esther or Abraham, depends on who she's channeling at the time. So Mike, Mitch Jorsky, I know that this is your guy. The book of the week is totally your book. You enjoy the heck out of this thing. We don't have Mike Shine, the holistic attorney here. We don't have Mike Shine, the keeper of the books here. We don't have the closer with us. What we do have is Mitch Jorsky, the scaredy cat guide to real estate investing and knowing what the heck Bitcoin is. So Mitch, let's give him a big round of applause for the book of the week.
I have to channel my inner Mike. So woohoo! Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Work Week. This thing is a beast. There is a smaller version. The paperback is thinner because I guess it's not updated with all the goodness. But anyway, yeah, so this book basically is literally the operating manual on everything that Walter just said. He does everything from, talk about how to implement systems and processes, but also kind of like, I don't know, it's got a very like life hacky type of vibe to it. So I don't want to say shortcuts, but also like kind of do it smarter, not harder vibe. Yeah, this book is a game changer. And since I've read it, I've pretty much been focused on living the 4-hour work week, which I don't know, I kind of do, except for when Walter tries to get me to do more stuff.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. Mitch, what are you talking about, man? Are you referring to the fact that I only ask that you pay it forward, not you became a millionaire? You just do a couple courses here and there. I mean, let's give Mitch a round of applause. He does do a lot of work. He does donate courses. He does donate his time. He certainly did a lot of work at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. Who's at the 100 Millionaire Summit? Got to see him on stage. Man, the lights, the videos, he's definitely an epic character. And the 4-hour work week, by the way, I gotta share this really quick. The 4-hour work week, this book changed my life. Like this book, when I was reading it as an entrepreneur, I was like, oh my God, like 4-hour work week. At first, I was like, no way is this possible. See, I was married at the time when this book came into my world. I was like 26 years old, and my wife at the time was like, oh my God, you know what? Oh, this book is so perfect. 4-hour work week is exactly what I want. And I was like, I'm a fucking grinder. That book is bullshit. Like, fuck that, right? And she was like, oh my God, I'm reading it. It's so amazing. And I ignored this book for like 2 years until Brandon Turner on the Bigger Pockets podcast was like, man, this book is great. You've got to read this book. And I was like, shit. 2 years have gone by and I'm still working hard. I'm a slave. I probably should read this book. And in 2017, I finally picked it up. I finally went through it, and I didn't want to work ever again after reading this book. Hence, if you've read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. So if you've already read it, you know the problem that comes with it is immediately afterwards, you're like, I'm done. Work is stupid. I shouldn't be doing this. I never want to do it again. Hence, if you ever had that feeling, you're just like, this is dumb. This is ridiculous. Here's the problem with that mentality. It doesn't give you any support if you don't have a business. So I didn't have a business when I read this book. And so I was just like trying to systemize and automate the thing that didn't do anything, didn't make any money. Hence, if that's a problem. If you're automating nothing or you're automating garbage, like all you get is more garbage. You get a lot of nothing. So I had to then go first build something. So I got Grant Cardone's Sell or Be Sold book, and I started crushing the real estate game. And then I was able to automate. So in year one as a real estate agent, I totally sucked. No systems, read 4-hour work week, didn't help me a lot. And then in the next year, I went and I sold $115,000 worth of real estate. And then I took Tim Ferriss's book and I read it. And I finally was able to systemize. And I made another $150,000 the next year through my agency, but I didn't do a single transaction. And I said, Cameron, if you understand, I'd systemize the business. I built a team of 25 agents. They did all the work. And actually, Ron also did a lot of the work, but I didn't do any of the work. And in 2018, I was able to move to Las Vegas for 3 months and just hung out just to see if all the systems would stay in place, because I was inspired by Tim's story in this book about being able to move and stay somewhere for 3 months, take these big 3-month vacations. Even right now, the month of December, January, and February, actually it's November, December, January, I take off because I don't have to do anything. Hence, Karen, if you want that lifestyle, you want to be able to do that too. So take action on the right things, follow the right systems, follow the right processes. If you're doing activities that don't pay you, stop it. Stop it. I guarantee you'll survive. But start doing things that do pay you. Here, who would like to know what pays you the most? Is anybody interested in what pays the most? Answer can if you want to know what pays the most. Conversations with high net worth people, and all you got to do is ask one thing. The richest people in the room, right? Hence, can if you feel you're doing all right financially, you're doing okay, you're doing more than the average, right? All right, I see a lot of people raising their hands. Here's what I'm going to say: you're pulling in over $250,000 a year. Where are people pulling over $250,000 a year? Hence, can if you're pulling over, okay. Well, some of you are, but you're not admitting it. Okay, that's cool. So the people who are pulling in over $250,000 a year, the most valuable thing in your business, my guess, is your partners and the conversations you have with your highest level clients. True or true? Business partners and highest paying clients. That's what I've found. So when I look at what pays the most, it is conversations with people who can either do the work or they are the clients who pay the most, the 80-20 of the 80-20 of the 80-20. We have multiple products, right? And everything that we do, we have one product that pulls in over $100,000 every time we sell it. And that is our flips. When we do our flips, we make significant amounts of money. When we partner on somebody else's deal, we'll still make $50,000. Ask Karen if that's okay for you, right? Like, you understand that's high leverage. Then we have products as low as $97. I don't speak one-on-one to the $97 people. I speak one-on-one with the projects that are making us the most amount of money. And I acquire more of those products. Who here's ever joined our mastery program, Alchemist Mastery Program? Well, in that program, we're grooming you for the next product that we can partner together and do a project together so that we'll bring the money, you do all the work. Who here's okay with that model? You understand, like you're going to do all the work. And we're going to bring all the money. Fair is fair, right? So that is the grooming process for our business. Think about your business. What is the highest paying component? What is the thing that pays the most? It's probably a deep relationship with somebody who's going to either do all the work or bring all the money. One of those is probably the most valuable relationship. And I can add one more. I'll say who brings the deal. Deals, money, and labor. Those are the three most important things. The person who brings the most of each is your highest value time. And if you're not making $250,000 a year, you're not talking to the right person to make $250,000 a year. That makes sense. That's if you understand. It is you and your decision on the friends you hang with. That's simple. Choose higher net worth, higher income friends or higher skilled friends and connect them to each other and be the middle person. You get paid significant amounts of money. To the degree that you do not do that is the amount of money you're going to get paid. Was this fun? Was this informative? Final step to systemize and automate your business so it works without you. Systemize, putting yourself in front of the right people as often as possible, you get rich. Systemize, putting yourself in front of, spending time with, building with the right people, and you get rich. If you compromise systemizing this, you compromise your success. You must be forced into spending time with the right people. I cannot get out of the 52 weeks to wealth. Do you know why? It's on my calendar. My calendar forces me to be here. I cannot get out of the 52 weeks to wealth. Do you know why? Because I put it on your calendar. I invited you. I sent out an invite. I automated my invitation process. Who gets an invite from me every single week? Guaranteed, no matter what. We are all committed to showing up here. I must show up here. I've automated the process. I forced myself to level myself up and level you up at the same time. Hence, Cam, if that's okay, if we've built a program that virtually forces all of us to level up together, forces us to be successful, we've systemized the process. So I want you to take a moment right now before we finish all of this, before we start opening up to questions. I just want you to take a minute and just focus for a second and think about who is the highest leverage person in your life right now. Who is the person who has either the most contacts, the most money, or the most ability to close deals or do or process the deals for you? Who has that? And then write that name down on a piece of paper. Go. This is your chance. This is an activity we're doing together. So person who has either the most deals, access to money, or access to the labor to do the thing that you want to get done. Write this down. We're going to systemize spending time with them. And if you don't have that person, then I want you to define what that person might look like. And then use a system like Alchemist Connect, like we use. We use Alchemist Connect to text, to email, to ringless voicemail drop, to provide value to all of our people, right? Each one of you fits a very specific avatar for us. Somebody who is building, somebody who's built, and somebody who's building other people. We have 3 separate avatars within our company. People who are still, they need to be built to become a millionaire, people who are already millionaires, and the people who are transforming from millionaires into alchemists, the people who are paying it forward and building others, coaches or mentors. So what is your avatar look like? Where are they hanging out? And then use Alchemist Connect to schedule something. Use what Thurbin did this past week and what Gary Aker did this week. They got networking events put together. They drew people together that were their ideal avatar. That's how I met Carlos Padron on here. Look at Carlos is hanging out with us because Thurbin was like, yo, let's bring people together who fit my ideal, right? Fit what I'm looking to do. Then I connected Carlos with Mitch Jorsky, right? Because I know that I connect smart people with each other, money is going to happen. Hence, Karen, if you can do this too, right? If you can take these actions, be okay with building other millionaires. Look, if maybe their million comes a little faster than your million, but if you were a part of it, I guarantee yours is coming. I guarantee it's coming. You're going to get there. You build 100 millionaires, make the commitment today, make the commitment now. You build 100 millionaires, help 100 people become wealthy. I guarantee you success. It's the only guarantee I'll ever put out there. I don't got to sell this, right? But you help 100 people become millionaires. I guarantee you're a millionaire. I guarantee your success. Does that make sense? And Ron knows, like, I'm not allowed to say the word guarantee on a call because we do occasionally sell programs. We do occasionally sell products. We do occasionally sell real estate. We have businesses, right? I can't guarantee anything, but I can guarantee you build 100 millionaires, you'll be a millionaire. Hence, Karen, if you understand the logic behind that. It's obvious. It's common sense, right? Because you'll be hanging out with 100 millionaires that you build who owe you a favor. They're going to bring you in on a deal. You know they will, right? My millionaires bring me in on deals. I get better I get discounts. I get things for free. I get opportunities nobody else has an opportunity to get into because, my millionaires, like, we just we owe each other. We're just taking care of each other. Does that make sense? Build deep rapport with great people, even if they haven't proven their greatness yet. If you can see their greatness, you can help them get there. That makes you very smart. So let's give everybody in this room a big round of applause. We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. If you haven't already gone to Alchemist Nation and checked out the latest event coming up on Monday, Vinny Chopra will be teaching multifamily syndication made easy. He's going to be teaching. This is originally we're going to charge for this, but Vinny asked me if I would make it free so that everybody could come. And I don't ever say no to Vinny. Hence the camera, if you know, we don't say no to billionaires, right? If a billionaire is like, yo, like, give it to them for free. All right, sir. Yes. Whatever you think is best. So for everybody in Mastery, we're going to give you something special when Vinny comes on. I've got an opportunity for everybody in the Mastery program when Vinny's there. For everybody who's outside of the Mastery program, well, I apologize, but the Mastery students made a huge commitment to me and I had to make a huge commitment to them. And so because of that, I get to give them some really good opportunities. And Vinny understands that because he was there and he's very impressed with everybody who's moving forward. So Vinny's going to show you how to raise capital. He's also going to explain why syndication. Who understands you need to know why in order to go do things? Yes, you need to understand why before you care about the how or the what or the who. So Vinny's going to talk about why syndication right now in this market. As real estate investors, syndication, and it kills me to say it because I used to always think, you just got to own everything all by yourself and that's how you get rich. But clearly I got partners. Clearly I've built funds. Syndication is one of the highest leverage, if not the highest leverage way to build your wealth right now in this market. It is the lowest risk for actually owning assets in this market. Some of my best friends who I really admire and respect, like Brant Phillips, who wrote the book, Private Money Lender Playbook. The guy raises capital for a living. That's what he does. And he's always owned his own properties in his own name. He owns over 200 units out in Texas, all by himself, him and his wife. And he told me, he's like, you know what, going forward, because I'm in a mastermind with all these real estate influencers. He said, going forward, syndication, man, in this market, it's too risky to own everything all by yourself. In this market, you have to have other people in these deals. It's okay to give away equity. We used to always do our deals with debt. We'd lend out debt, borrow debt. But in this market, we're borrowing equity. We're taking on partners. We're saying, look, if shit goes sideways, we're all suffering. Instead of putting all the pressure on the person acquiring, now you're spreading the pressure across the GPs and the LPs. Hands to the camera, if you understand that logic, it makes it much safer. There are more regulations, so you must be much smarter, which is why Vinny is doing a workshop on how to do multifamily syndication made easy. So that's Monday, 6 o'clock. Tarina, can you drop the link? I don't believe we're not doing any, there's no charge in this one. This is actually free this time because Vinny said so. So let's give Vinny a big round of applause. He's not on the call right now, but multifamily syndication, who here already was interested in multifamily? Already knew that was the direction they were going in, already knew they wanted lots of rents. So basic understanding of syndication, you're borrowing the money from other people. They become partners of yours. And without going into any of the complications, it is SEC regulated. So you do have to spend a little bit more money on the structure, but guess what? Your partners pay for the attorneys and all the structure. Hence, if you understand, if the money's there, you can pay for things. If you borrow the money, you get the money. OPM, other people's money. So it's going to be Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Darina is dropping the link in the chat right now, or you can go to alchemistnation.com and look for our events. Just go to the event tab, and syndication is right up there. I'm going to open it up to questions. I'm going to stop the recording, and maybe I'll continue the new recording. Hence, if you've got questions on systemizing your business, or you're somebody who's totally crushed it and systemizing your business, and you want to share some of your tips on how you systemize. This is
I don't necessarily have tips, but for myself, what I have been doing, because I just got this, I just closed on my first rental property, and it was 6 hours away from me. So, making that I
Bro,
forced
mine are
myself.
22 hours away from me.
Yeah, so I felt like I had to force myself to create systems and processes. I had no choice but to create systems and processes. So, for example, my whole goal was to do student rentals, but because, I closed in October 1st, the student semester already passed. So I wanted to do the spring semester for students, but, usually students end up staying, there for a whole year at their leases. Their leases are usually a year long. So for me, I've been like doing Airbnb, even though that wasn't my original intentions. I had to adapt. So I had to use Airbnb. And basically, I got this book called Short-Term Rental, Long-Term Wealth it's a bigger pockets thing. It just helps with Airbnb and creating systems and processes. So one of the things that I did, because even though the books obviously help you, and people already have systems and processes in place for most things, and most businesses, they're already created. You can just go on the operations menu online. So that's what I did. Also, is I also searched up property management operations manual, and most of them are usually there. You can just kind of copy and paste their operation manual and add, do a little small tweaks into your operations menu. But one thing that I also did was, after a guest left, I actually did most of the work myself. Like, I cleaned the house, so I know what exactly needs to get cleaned. I looked at what things need to get inspected in the house, and I wrote, okay, hey, make sure I go ahead and check, the refrigerator in case guests leave their food in there, or check inside each cabinet, or inside the drawers, because oftentimes guests leave things in the drawers after an Airbnb. So I started writing all these systems and processes down. So then when I want somebody else to do it, I make it very simple to where anybody can do it, because you don't want to kind of make it specialized where somebody
Learn it, do it,
needs to do it.
Delegate it. Well, let's give Jose a round of applause. Jose, would you be interested in sharing something like that in Alchemist Nation?
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely.
Awesome, brother. Who would get some value from seeing what Jose has put together for himself? Awesome, Jose. Make it a little course, man. Who knows, if it adds value to somebody, they may make improvements. We don't currently have a community of people who are doing Airbnb on Alchemist Nation sharing content. Like, there's room for it for sure. I was asked recently, I was asked by a coach who's like, I teach Airbnb. Would that be valuable? And I was like, there's nobody doing it at the moment. Yeah, like, go and create a course. So even if you create a group that is just Airbnb focused, and you can create the groups inside Alchemist Nation, we have now spaces. Go and create a space of your own and just start inviting people who are interested, or just, you don't even have to invite people. They'll come in over time. Create the content and they will come. The Alchemist Nation's like that. Most things are not. If you build it, they will not come. But inside of Alchemist Nation, if you build it, they will come. If you title it right. Awesome. Go ahead, Thurban. I saw your hand, brother.
Yeah, so it's not really like a question, but more like I guess a caveat for point number 4. You're saying like ask a colleague to perform a task.
What you're about to say is you don't have a colleague, right?
No, actually.
Okay. All right.
So I was gonna say also like more if along the lines of like maybe instead of having a colleague do something, insert technology for that role.
Yeah. So let me go back.
If possible, depending on the business, obviously, but
Let me go back. Anything that can be done with technology should be done with technology, but you still have to document the process so that if anything gets changed on your technology, like for example, my podcast, that goes out to multiple different places. It's syndicated. I built a system. I tied in multiple different platforms to syndicate it, but Felly will still have to go and upload the audio and copy the description from another system, or another virtual assistant is actually writing all the copy for my initial videos. So the system that Felly follows, she actually improved a lot of it herself. She built it, but I also had a system of this becomes this pillar platform content becomes this, becomes that, becomes that, becomes that. And she's actually really expanded upon. By the way, let's give Felly a round of applause. She builds all of our SOPs. She's done a lot of automations for us. She's got a very, very good system in place. So yes, the technology should be the first thing that you look for. There's almost always an app or a software or a system or an existing business that can automate something that you're doing. That was your point, Thurbin?
yeah.
I'm with you 100%. You were absolutely right.
Yeah, no, I just thought that was like a little caveat that should have been added to number 4. I just thought, but
Damn
yeah.
it. We'll get it next year. Let's give Thurbin a round of applause. That's what Ron said all the way through the summit, on our way to the summit, and even after the summit, like at the 100 Millionaire summit, right? We put 250 people on a guest list, 200 show up. And like when we were going through the registrations, I was like, man, like 250 people registered. We got, at the time it was like 180 people in like who had actually shown up at the door. And I was like, man, like what the hell is wrong with people? And Ron's answer, this is the beginning of the event. We'll do better next year. So let's give Ron a round of applause.
Yeah, no,
Anything that went wrong, right?
that's a great show rate though. I mean, 250 and 200 show up. That's pretty great.
We got an amazing community, and I think that goes back to the quality of how like much we care about what we're doing, how tight the mission is in line with our each individual purpose, and the fact that we all do feel a little compelled to pay it forward and give back to somebody else. That is one of the reasons that even with free tickets, we actually get a very good response, because I gave free tickets to some high-level coaches, and those high-level coaches showed up. It was really cool. Is those high-level coaches bought the program that we were selling. Like that's the part that blows my mind. Is I had 2 coaches sit in the room that I wanted to go for free. That was Stephen Beaver and Larry Steinhaus, and both of which paid for mastery. And I blew my mind, because I had no intention of selling to them. I just wanted them in the room to see if I could convince them to build millionaires with us. So it's a very, very cool room. So yeah, let's give Thurbin James a round of applause. Great job, brother. Thank you. Great questions. Get great answers. Maureen, you're up. Maureen's another coach that I said she's coming in. She's coming over.
Yeah.
She's gonna
Hi,
build
everyone.
millionaires.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. You were talking about platforms to use, and I got turned on to Trello, which I had been introduced previously before when I was in education, but now I'm starting to use Trello to structure my systems, like for example, graphics. So I put up boards and download graphics, so I'm not looking all over the internet for graphics when I want to post something. So I'm starting to gather them together. What kind of equipment do I need for me when I want to do a video or something? I just start structuring a place to put everything as a source, a resource space for me, so that I'm not wasting time looking all over the place for the same thing over and over again. And slowly I'm starting to have projects and partnerships with people who are getting contracts for things. So it's like coordinating the resources there and structuring, okay, I have these 3 major projects I'm working on right now. So I have a master project management board where it helps me keep track on what it is that I have to do and get structured. and organized, because I'm realizing I'm just getting to the point where I really do need to organize and systemize myself in order for me to do the things I need to do. So Trello for me is easy, an easy segue point for me, because I just create the board, the category, and it gives me, I can create checklists like, what was that, brother Jose was talking about, creating checklists in different areas for things that I have to do. So I'm not, trying to plug my brain out like, oh yeah, did I do that? There's a checklist for me to pull up and keep going. So, if there's a system you're looking for, you've never used any of those platforms before, I find Trello to be very easy and simplified to do. And I've also used Asana. Someone mentioned Asana as well. Yeah, they're powerful tools. I like Asana for collaboration.
100%. Let's give Maureen a round of applause. It's actually a great tip. We use Asana for collaboration and holding all of it. Like, one of our businesses that is super heavy collaboration is Jen's Pen. And because it's a bunch of writers and one project, and it's a lot of stuff going on. And we've got to get these books through. Like, these are high level players who want these books produced in their voice. So there's transcribers, there's writers, there's editors, and then there's Jen going through the whole project and tying it all together at the end. And it's a lot of work, from start to finish. But Asana allows us to kind of organize everything, communicate with each other, and let everybody know like where you're at. When one task ends, they know where the next task begins. It takes a lot to program it. I will say Jen has put hundreds of hours into program a system as complex as ours, but she's put the investment in. This is exactly what I'm talking about. She systemized it. So now, like, the team just goes in there. She could scale up 10 writers to or 100 writers, and it wouldn't matter, because the systems are the systems are the systems.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Give Maureen a round of applause. What else? What else? Systemize your business so it works without you. And I see a lot of really cool people on the call right now. So shares or takeaways. Go ahead.
Can I say something, Walter?
Go ahead, Jacob.
Here's my takeaway. Don't be me.
There's nothing wrong with being shiny, brother.
No. I was at Walter's very first group of trainings in Fall River, if you remember the live ones.
I remember.
When you started, whatever, man. I got distracted, yada, yada. It's 3 years later. I got my real estate license and I'm back.
Hell yeah. Let's give Jacob Bell a round of applause. It's true. Jacob was sitting in one of the rooms. I think we were teaching, we were doing the 52 weeks to wealth before there were the 52 weeks to wealth. We were teaching, we were training, we were showing up every Saturday. He would come, he was networking, and he's saying it. Yeah. 3 years ago, like, we've built 24 millionaires in the last 3 years.
Wow. I'm gonna be on the list soon.
Let's add Jacob Bell to the list.
I'm gonna be on the list.
Coming.
You can't get Walter. No matter how you try, you can't get rid of me.
Dude, I have
Only joking.
I have known this entire time that you were going to be one of them. I just knew that some people, they gotta come to that decision on their own.
These 4 inches are the problem right here.
It's the stuff between our ears. Who here knows that we've also held ourselves back? This
So
entire
thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Nobody else to blame. Let's give Jacob a big round of applause. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
I'll shut up now.
Love you, man. What else? Shares, comments, takeaways, tips, things that you can contribute to the community, or what your biggest takeaway was today, and these simple 5 steps, but super impactful steps. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually have one question. How do you network? How do you automate meeting people?
Oh man, I love it. So Dorina knows how I automate meeting people. I do meetups all throughout the week. Every single day, there's some sort of meetup that somebody is running. And then I have my team scheduling calls all the time. I'm always meeting somebody. Also, I'm in Facebook groups reaching out to people as a system. I'm systematically reaching up to people. I've joined a mastermind. I'm forced to be in a mastermind of real estate influencers. All the top tech real estate entrepreneurs in the space, all of the top educators and coaches in the info space, and all of the top real estate investors who are absolutely crushing it. I'm in that mastermind with them. I spent the $25,000 to get into the family reunion, is what we call it, family mastermind. And it's just 150 real estate investors. We meet every 2 weeks, and it's on my calendar. I told Felly when I signed up for it, I said, Felly, I spent a lot of money on this. This is my new top priority. Please make sure it's on my calendar. And she's just been amazing at making sure every time an email comes in, a notification, an event comes up, she puts on my calendar. And I am a slave to the calendar. Whatever it says, I do. And if I have a mental breakdown, who here's ever had one of those? You get emotionally like, whoa, I got too much going on. I tell Dorina, and then Dorina tells Felly, and my calendar gets cleaned like that. And they had to protect me one time this year. I think one time I freaked out a little bit, and they wiped off 5 or 7 days straight, and they said, hey, no more calls for 7 days. Everything got pushed, and that's kind of how it works. Like, I just allow the calendar to tell me who I'm talking to. And I have systems, other people who know the value of my time, know what I'm hunting for, know what I'm seeking, and they put things on my calendar. And I get a lot of requests to do calls, but I basically say no to all of them unless they fit. Do they build millionaires? Will it build millionaires this year? Does that answer, Thurman? So you have to have a purpose in life. Like, you have to have a purpose. Does it help other people is not the question I ask. Does it help other people build wealth? Does it help other people become a millionaire? Does it help other people become financially free? If it does that, then I'm interested. I want a part of it. And then I let the team schedule my calendar. So maybe I'm a little spoiled, Thurman. I think, but if you don't have the team, the beautiful team that we have, then you could just go on meetup.com and register for all of the live events that are in your market. That would be the ideal people for you to hang out with. If you're looking for high net worth individuals, go and look for business professional networking events. Go and look for like Mitch Joyce is the king of this. Actually, Mitch, can you speak to this? Because you're like the king of. Mitch will never skip a networking event, like unless it's like to hang out with me or Mike. Like, that's the only
Lies. There was a time when I would never skip an event. Getting too old for that stuff. No, honestly, I was going to chime in, so it's funny that you brought it up. Thurman, in the end, online relationships are awesome, but in person, you're always going to build a better bond and better rapport. And basically, I've organically stumbled into this hack where I am almost like an unofficial co-host for so many meetups, just because A, was a regular at first, and B, basically became good friends with the person that was running the meetup. And I generally leverage that now to meet people because Walter's always meeting new people, expanding his network. My friend Annette, who runs a big meetup down here in South Florida, same thing. I have a meetup I'm literally leaving in 30 minutes to go to that, same thing, unofficial co-host. And what happens is the people that run these meetups, they're all become like best friends of mine. So anytime I go to either that meetup or I see them somewhere else, they automatically introduce me into everyone they've met or everyone they've know. So like, I don't, in a way, have to do the work. Like, I just show up and it's like, hey, have you met so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so? So that's really like a way where I've like loosely automated always meeting not only new people, but people that are kind of vetted already, because like I only have good, solid people in my life, and generally they're going to have the same filtering process as me, so to speak. So by doing that, I'm always meeting new people, literally just by showing up. And it's just made, building my network, so much easier. And I'm able to 10x it in the same amount of time, doing the same things that I would have been doing anyway. Right. So I would just say, definitely make a point to become friends with those that, run meetups, and, you can tell are just always networking on top of that. And that's just what I've stumbled into over the last few years. And like I said, every single time, like case in point, I saw you in Tampa a few weeks ago. Walter introduced me to like 5 people that I'd never met in my life because, now he's tapped into the Tampa market. So that's just an example. And there's always new people showing up to meetups. So, the meetup I'm going to today, we've been running for 6 years. Every month there's somebody new there, right? And sometimes if I miss a meetup, I'll come there, and then next month, John will be like, oh, you got to meet so-and-so. They came last month. They're awesome, blah, blah, blah. So like, that's how I got to the point where I don't even need to show up to every meetup anymore. So
establishing yourself as like an authority at these meetups. Yeah, Thurman, great question. You asked the right question, and Mitch, I knew you had the answer. You are like the king of networking. In
I know
fact,
you.
I learned so much from Mitch when we were at 10X together. I learned so much from Mitch no matter when we hang out, but we were at 10X together. 10X, we as like community leaders, we go to 10X to find the right people. Like that's why we go there. We go there to connect with other high level players. And because everybody there is basically a community leader or a sales trainer or a sales, they own a big sales company or something. So Mitch is like super connector and they're grabbing people's contacts, being like, yo, you got to meet my boy Walter. Like,
Ooh, Walter, Dorina just reminded me. I met you because of a networking event, which happened because I met Dorina at a networking event. See, it happened like I met Dorina, which led me to Walter and a few other people, which led to like literally, I basically, again, you make friends with the people that you can tell are just like all about building their network and like you can almost ride the coattails in a way. I know 10 extra people I would know had I not met Dorina 3+ years ago. So just make friends with those people.
we're gonna
And
keep
can I
hearing
get-
Dorina's name over and over, but I see Doug is on the call. Let's give it up to Doug McGurk, the king of net. If anybody in network slightly high net worth people, you know, super
Doug is the
popular,
number
super-
one super connector. I'm
Go ahead,
I'm living in his
Well,
shadow.
No. You guys are all amazing, of course. And one of the things that it's not necessarily automated. Sorry, we're having a party tonight. Mitch, we'll see you, right? And you guys are coming. Dorina and Walter, you're driving down. Huh?
Yeah, got it. On my way.
Yeah. So one
I
of
wanna
the
be there,
things that
Doug.
also is remember givers gain. So
He just muted because the Tesla is literally Bluetoothing. Who here has a Bluetooth and hates when that happens?
That happens.
The worst. Doug, can you hear us now?
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. So, you ask that question, what do you need? What are you looking for? Who's your ideal contact? What is it that you're looking to find? And when you're at a networking event, earmark that and then introduce them. Like just pay it forward and go, oh, wow, I know who you need to meet. You need to meet so-and-so. And then what happens is the law of reciprocity kicks in. And then they go, like, I'll give you a great example. Like Chop. He came to, Lois brought him to the summit and we connected and I was introducing him to people and then introducing him to more people. And then and then finally stopped me. He goes, dude, stop it. What can I do for you? All you've done is introduce me to like amazing people. And I don't even know how to help you. What can I do? So it creates this strong desire. And I mean, it's generally in my heart. I don't usually ask. I know that it will come when necessary, but he was so compelled, he had to stop it. So stop me giving him referrals. So I guess if it's not really automated, but take notes of what they need, what they're looking for. And it just goes, it builds momentum. It's about Julio. So Julio, he's coming tonight and he called me and I joined this group called XBX. And I was like, oh, I met this corporate attorney and they do blah, blah. And, I'm going to connect you guys. He's like, do it right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then next week, let's get together. Let's just swap Rolodexes. Let's just sit down and see like what we can, how we can just leverage each other. So just putting out what you want back, which is like value. And that's what I have to say about that.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. He toured with Tony Robbins for 3 years as one of his top coaches, helping others get their mindset right. He's the maximizer. He's also the guy who builds all of my hypnosises for me. So the mindset that we've gotten ourselves to, the Alchemist mindset, that was Doug McGurk who donated that hypnosis session to the community. If you haven't already checked it out, you should go to alchemistnation.com. It is in there. What I'm hearing from everybody is that there are systems. What Doug just dropped is there is a system for taking contact information from a person and not just putting name, number, email, but also putting in what they're looking for, who their right referral would be. And I would go another step and say, you can put that into your CRM as a tag, desire, and the type of referral that would be ideal for them. And so now you can sort and build audiences based on those referrals. In fact, most of my businesses are fed by realtors and investors. Who's noticed that? Most of what I talk about is either realtors or investors, and that's, you know, my client base, because my partners' businesses are generally fed by those clients. So I add value to my community, my tribe, but I also have partners on the back end who are able to monetize the tribe that we've built. Hence, Karen, if you could do the same thing. In fact, if you're already in mastery, we're showing you how to do the same thing. We're showing you how to build your own local network that pays you for being you, for being your best investor version of yourself, raising capital for yourself, bringing deals for yourself, and having other people operate the deals for you. It's a powerful strategy. It's what Thurman did this week in Tampa. It's what Gary did the week before in Tampa. And it's what our community leaders are doing all across the country right now, in Texas, in Arizona, in California, in Boston, Rhode Island. It's very amazing. So let's give all of our community leaders and hosts a round of applause for the hard work they're doing. And Lou Carlson, have a conversation with Dorina. She'll talk to you. She'll take care of you, brother. I saw your message a little while ago. Very cool. Desiree, go ahead. And then Andrea, I do see your hands up, ladies. And if everybody's got to jump off, sending you the biggest blessings, go talk to your family, send them some love, give them a hug, give them a kiss, tell them something positive. Cheers to your success. If you have a choice, always work with the best. And for anybody who wants to hang out with questions, we'll stick around for a little bit longer with you guys. Go ahead, Desiree.
Okay, great. Thank you for taking my question. So I figure a close.
Your hand was up, girl. I have a hard time just like your hand was up a while ago.
That's okay. That's okay. So I figure a closed mouth does not get fed. And I really appreciate the fact that Vinny is going to come on and talk about multifamily syndication, because that's something I'm really interested in. But I want to know if you would reconsider whether or not you can open it up to anybody that has been in a mentoring program with Alchemist Nation, because you would want to have people also to have that knowledge that are not a part of mastery, since it's only now offered to them. So think about it. We are in a season of giving, and you do give a lot all year long. And I think it will open up for more people that might be interested, and if they're not in a mastery class, because it's something definitely, I think there's more strength in numbers. So multifamily and doing it in a syndication is the way to go. So if you reconsider, I'd like to know, let me know, because I really wanted to be on that call.
How about this, Desiree? You promise you're committed to becoming a millionaire?
Yes.
100%, all the way.
All the
committed.
way.
You're going, no matter what it takes, whether it's difficult, there's stress involved, you got to do things that get you outside of your comfort zone.
You got to do it.
You with us?
Yes.
All right, Dorina, you cool? Make it free for everybody who's been through the mentorship, mastery, the 52 weeks to wealth, the RPC, anybody who's been consistent with any of our programs, we'll bring to multifamily syndication. I believe that much in what Vinny's doing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because even if you were going to charge, I think it would have still been worth it if you were charging people to be a part of it as well. So, you know.
You know why we're not charging, Desiree?
Why?
Me and Vinny didn't have time to have the team put a landing page together. That was our initial intention.
Awesome. I'm seeing some hearts come up. Okay. So I think some other people are liking that suggestion. Okay, great.
Let's give Desiree a round of applause. Yeah, we had no intention of opening it up to people outside of the community. So we were like, we're not going to, this is just for mastery. We're not going to charge for it. We'll just kind of run it through mastery. But you have a compelling point. And the more I've been speaking to Vinny about how important syndication and understanding it is right now,
yes,
the more I realize our community, our tribe is more lined up to do it right, because we've always committed to doing things morally, ethically, and legally, which, according to Vinny, is like the most important part of syndicating, because if you syndicate wrong, you hurt a lot of people.
Right.
And since our community is already lined up with that, pre-notion of everything, I've never had a call where I didn't say that. So we've all got this kind of, mindset of do it the right way, do it morally, ethically, legally. We got to, build 100 millionaires, inspired to build 100 millionaires. So yeah, Desiree, let's give Desiree.
And one other thing, we're doing this with people we know, like, and trust.
Know, like, and trust, which is another way to say love.
Exactly. Thank you.
Let's give Desiree a round of applause. Awesome question. And yes, so Dorina will send out an invitation to everybody who has been through any of our programs that are real estate related. And I will also say that, Love, you brought it up to me. Know, like, and trust. People won't lend money to you if they don't know, like, and trust you. People won't do business with you if they don't know, like, and trust you. An awareness I had about a year ago was that know, like, and trust are also what it takes to love somebody. So if you love a person, what does that mean? That means you like them. If you love a person, what does that mean? It means you know them. If you love a person, what does that mean? It means you trust them. So people will only do business with people that they love. So in order to get somebody else to love you, you must first love yourself. One of the biggest challenges that I've found with capital raisers is self-love. Now I want to go deep into this, but this is a whole concept and understanding. And you kind of brought it up and reminded me that this is something I want to talk about more often in our community closed group, because I know this is not the sort of message that, you know, gets hits or likes or shares, but it is the key to success. Is you got to love yourself enough to do what it takes to help other people. So if you love you, when you connect with somebody, you can be a genuine human being and show and send love to that human being. They're going to know, like, and trust you, because you're going to be willing to open up and listen to them and care about them. And then you can present offers. Does that make sense? Have you ever met somebody who you're just like, you met them for the first time, you're just like, fuck yeah, whatever, like, down for whatever, let's go. Like, you, I trust you, I'm down for. I will say I've met a handful of people who I've met the first time, like, dude, whatever money you need, I got it. Or like, whatever project you say we're going into, I'm in. You know, Doug McGurk's one of those, Mitch Jorsky's one of those, Mike Shine. Actually, me and Mike took a little while, but now he's won me over. Serena's one of those. Ron took a little while, right? But now anything, you know, I've known him so long. But like Doug, the first time I met him, I was like, yes. Mitch, first time I met him, I was like, yep, you and I, same page. Mitch Durfee, as soon as we met each other, same page. We were just like, yes, let's go do something together. There's a handful of people that I've met that I just instantly trusted because they're so good at listening. They're so good at caring about the person in front of them. They're so good at just being like, you know, what do you need? Like, where are you at? Where are you looking to go? And I think that's one of the most, Darina, same thing, right? Darina, Mitch, and Doug, if I were to say people who've nailed this and really got this caring about other people from like first contact, those three have really just, and they embody that. And poor Darina's sick. Let's give her a big round of applause. She's working so hard these past couple of days through her sickness. Go ahead. Who had their hand up? Andre, go ahead. Andre.
Hi. We're talking about all the meetups. How do you find local meetups?
As long as you're not in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, you just go to meetup.com and there will be meetups. Type in real estate, type in finance. I would type in tech entrepreneurs because I'm sneaky like that. I know the tech entrepreneurs got money. They like knowledge and information. They can understand a conversation around money. Like if you go to some of these other events, you're going to get people who just like don't grasp what investing is, whereas tech entrepreneurs totally, like, they can do math, right? They're smart people. They invest, you know, they can make their decisions relatively quickly because they're intelligent. So if you're looking to raise capital, hang with tech entrepreneurs, business, technology businesses, engineers. I love like a lot of our investors are either salespeople, business owners, or engineers. Not salespeople. I'm sorry. A lot of our investors in our businesses are salespeople, business owners, or engineers. That's just the easiest people to like invest with because they're smart. They can do math and they know the value of their time and they know that it's better to have you do the thing.
Okay.
Ask Karen if that's a helpful tip. So any event that's like business professionals or sales professionals or technology conferences, Bitcoin conferences, like anything that's like, think like tech space. I love it. I love hanging with those people. Awesome. Let's give Andrea a round of applause. Was that valuable for everybody on the call, right? Who here's raising capital? Would like to, you know, work with higher net worth people, smarter people. Like the tech space is full of them. Also the medical field, absolutely full of people who are very intelligent. The only challenge I will say is that the medical field has, they tend to make decisions a little bit slower, and they're more family based. So you do have to talk about the legacy and what you can build for their family, the passive income for their family, just a nuance. What other questions, comments, shares? We good? We got a lot of value this week? Awesome. Well, let's give you a round of applause. We're here because you have decided to show up. every week that you show up. We've been doing this for 3 years now. Some of you have been on these calls for 3 entire years. Some of you 2 years, some of you 1 year, some of you, this is your first call or first month. Let's give everybody who's committed to becoming a millionaire, to building millionaires and paying it forward once you've got yours. Let's give them a big round of applause. Patrick says 10x. Patrick, let's go. Let's get 1,000 millionaires. All about it, brother. Let's get it. All right. This week, go out, build some systems, start with at least a list. If you do nothing else this week, you can do all the other 5 steps, the other 4 steps, throughout the year. But if you do nothing else, go and document your repetitive tasks. This, please, from the bottom of my heart, this is the most important thing that you could do today in the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes is just document everything that has to be done every single day. Because I know you're very smart. Once that list is built, you will go and build those documents. You will go and organize your drive. You will go and have SOPs built. So the most important, highest leverage component for you right now is to go and just write down all of the repetitive tasks that you have in your life, in your business. And then I'd also make some room for some repetitive tasks in your health. Hands to the camera. If you could use some, I know most of us are hard drivers and they say the leader dictates the quality of the room. And I hadn't, 2 years ago, I was not very good at taking care of my body. So, we're all coming out of that kind of as a team. Some of you better than others, but make some room for it, right? There is plenty of time in the day, as long as you're doing the right steps, the right routines. So again, document just what repetitive tasks are you doing. Cheers to your success. This mission will not self-destruct, but your business might. If you don't take action. I'll see you in the next one. We have a choice. I was working the best.
The best, the best, the best.
Love you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Hell yeah, Carlos. We'll see you next week, brother. Wealth
Yeah,
Principle
man.
45.
Good to see you, Carlos.
Man, hey, this was my first meeting, man. I enjoyed it. I soaked up a lot of knowledge in this meeting. I look forward to the next one. Also, Walter, man, I want to get with you and Mitch on a couple of ideas that I have. I want to run some things by you, man, if possible, but I'll send that in a group text.
Sounds good. We got our we do a crypto mastermind that Mitch runs every Tuesday. So he may invite you into that one for free. He gives everybody a free session. So that might be the perfect time. Pitch it to us and all the other mastermind members. Awesome.
Perfect.
Let's give Carlos a round of applause. Wealth Principle 45 next week is invest in assets that increase time, energy, or income streams. I'm going to show you some of those assets, how to identify them, and how to invest in them. So Wealth Principle 45 coming next week. Invest in assets that increase time, energy, or income. Cheers to your success. I'll say it again. When you have a choice, always work with the best. All right. Love you guys. Amy.